Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Test Chamber. I'm Tim Turi, joined here by Ben Reeves.
How's it going, Tim?
Pretty good. We're going to be checking out The Last of Us Remastered for the PS4, which came out today.
Yeah, it's exciting, actually.
It's super exciting. This was like one of the best games of last generation, and we get to play it again with even better visuals. They got like 1080p native resolution. They got 60 frames per second. They have DLC in there. There's lots of new cool stuff going on in this. So
yeah, I think we ranked it the best game on PS3, actually, of the generation.
Yeah, it's
which is always kind of. I feel like if it's not a year old yet, I mean it's about a year old now, but if it's a game that's sort of newer, you like haven't had as much time to sit on it yet, and you're like, well, is this really gonna hold up?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been out over a year now, and I'm like still kind of thinking about it, and still like it still has left an emotional impact with me, and I'm like, yeah, it really holds up.
Yeah, and this is a point in the game that's a little bit later on after Joel and Ellie meet up with their friend Bill. And if you're not interested in spoilers, obviously you shouldn't be watching this. But what's going on here is he's helping them get a ride and fix up a truck so they can get the heck out of here. And some interesting traps all over the place. It seems like he's kind of like an isolationist and teaching Joel like improvised weapons, which was kind of fun replaying through this again for the review. It's been kind of cool, like reacquainting myself with how cool the crafting system is and how much I like the gunplay and stuff. So it's been a good time.
Yeah, even just oh my gosh, it's so brutal. Like just the combat itself, even not just gunplay itself, but like hitting dudes with like
the crack
2x4s, or like smashing guys' heads into the wall, and you're like,
we take that battery and we put it in.
People overuse this word, but it's very visceral.
Yeah,
you're just like, it's very like when the first time you play it, you're like, holy crap! Like you have an action sequence and you just leave and your like heart's beating faster because you're like, that was really intense.
And you know, I want to talk a little bit about some things that if you haven't seen this game since it came on PS3, as I've been talking to people, a lot of folks are just like, yeah, you know, this kind of looks like how I remembered it. It was a really good looking game on PS3, and it's easy to forget, you know, or not notice how smooth like the 60 frames per second look. So this is 60 frames per second like initiated. Maybe once I'll get outside, I'll check it out again, so it's maybe a little bit more noticeable.
And you can dial it back.
Yeah, you can lock it in at 30 frames, which is what the original PS3 version was. I wouldn't suggest that unless you're unless it's weird for you and you're some sort of purist. That is not advised. But so this is sort of how it looks, and then you can go into options and into display here and lock it in at 30, and it kind of clicks a little bit. It's it's a little bit, you know, obviously the frames have dropped, and I think it shows. But
still looks good.
I think it's maybe a little more exaggerated too in this version of the game since it is so much cleaner. Whereas, like, you know, the PS3 is a little bit slightly more like Vaseline on the lens, kind of obscuring the lower frames per second. You know,
it's interesting that they even included that mode, like in the options.
I guess just covering their bases. You know,
yeah, just to be like, hey, in case you're curious.
So we chose this part because it's a little bit later into the game. I think we've shown off the beginning of this game before when the PS3 version came out, but I want to show one of my favorite strategies, actually. So I'm going to take this bottle, throw it, and then wait for them to converge, and then throw a Molotov. That generally works out pretty well.
That's really good if you get like 3 or 4 guys even.
Yeah. I think it was in the school later on when you get to the university. Like I was doing that, and it was so satisfying. But yeah, I've still backed myself into some corners, and this game is still really tense, even though I know like all the big story beats and stuff, and I know where it's going for the most part.
I actually loved taking a stealth approach most times, where I'd sneak up on everybody and try to stab them.
Yeah, like this.
Yep. You got a brick in hand in case you need to throw it.
Yep. And the cool thing is, and this isn't something I did much, but was just like hitting him and then just nailing him. Because I think I was pretty afraid of clickers the first time around. And full disclosure, I'm going through on easy this time just to kind of show off the game.
Well, you say
Off
you're,
of Bill.
you say you're
He's
afraid
gonna
of
hit me.
clickers, but I think rightfully so. They were pretty terrifying.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't have a shiv and they close the gap, they're gonna one hit you, which is pretty brutal. I think also worth mentioning here is that there's been some cool DLC that's come out for Last of Us since the PS3 version. There's some multiplayer stuff, but I think we're more interested in the
Left Behind.
Left
DLC,
Behind, yeah, which fills in a cool gap with Ellie's story.
Get out of here.
So yeah, again, let's just assume that folks have played the game. I'm gonna say a spoiler here, but there's a gap where you play as Ellie in the game, and the DLC fills in that gap, and it does it really really well, and it tells us a little bit more about Ellie before she joins up with Joel, and sort of stuff that happened that's hinted at the end of the game in a conversation between her and Joel, and like. I don't know. I like this game, but I didn't know how much I was going to like that DLC. It is really good, and I'm really happy that this remastered version was the first way I played it. That was like my reintroduction into this game.
Yeah, I played it when it first came out, and I was surprised how well it holds up. Like it's pretty much on par, I think, storytelling, production-wise,
Yeah.
with the whole rest of the game.
Oh yeah,
You're like you could slide this into the game itself, and like you almost wouldn't even know it was like DLC.
I'd say arguably one of like the greatest pieces of DLC I've probably ever played. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, you guys. Were those just what are they called? Stalkers?
The ones that can hear and see.
Yeah, and that they're a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. They're more zombie-like, traditional zombie-like.
Oh, the other great thing about playing through as Ellie is that she has her amazing switchblade. So all I do is just run around with bricks and knives, and then you just throw them at a dude's face, and then close the gap, and then just jump on them and stab them repeatedly with her knife, which is like,
It's coming.
oh crap.
Yeah, it's nice because her knife doesn't break.
Yeah, it never breaks.
Joel's shiv.
Yeah, like his shivs. You think in the apocalypse you could find maybe like one blade that's a little bit more reliable?
A little bit sturdier than the
Yeah.
others. There you go.
You don't
Maybe
want-
take Bill's machete there.
Yeah, he seems like Bill's got it all figured out. Yeah, you don't want clickers to sneak up on you like that. I think he's playing a imaginary guitar.
Air guitar.
All right, that's actually something I noticed with like your action figures, and like Matt Miller has a ton of action figures. Like the default pose for a lot of action figures just makes them look like they're playing air guitar, and they're super into it.
Which superheroes are really into music?
There's got to be more than a couple superheroes that are in like bands and stuff, right?
That's also the only thing you pose action figures for, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the default.
That's the default pose.
Yeah, I'm playing through this all over again, and it's been really fun just kind of reminding myself like how amazing this story is, just outside of video games, but just for stories in general. And further reminded me was this Last of Us like one night live thing they did last night.
Yeah.
I checked that out, which it's actually posted on the website. You can go and see some select scenes from this game, like reenacted by the original, voice and mocap actors, which are the same people in this case, live on stage with like they have Gustavo Santaolalla doing the music.
Yeah, the original composer.
Yeah. And it's really cool. Makes me kind of want to see like a play of The Last of Us. I would watch that.
I would totally watch that. I actually thought about that when they did it. I was like, they could totally adapt this for a tour.
Yeah.
I think they'd do some cool like stage effects.
Yeah.
But I don't really want them to get too lost in like, hey, let's do plays, let's do movies. I want them to keep making games.
Yeah, me too. This is another thing worth mentioning. These are minor things, but I'm hitting the touchpad on the PS4 controller to bring this up.
Oh, cool.
Crap. Okay.
Yeah, they're coming right at you. That's not good.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Gentlemen,
Sit down.
Bill, you'll have to answer to my friend Bill here. Oh, okay, all right.
What? There you go.
Clicker.
He's got this.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Will he actually kill them? No.
Get him.
Oh,
He's really good. I mean, if you're playing this for the first time, though, you'd be like losing your mind, like, holy crap.
Well, yeah.
That was just like 3 dudes, right?
It's still nerve-wracking.
And they gave you a run for your money.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I would say is just like real life. If you were getting attacked by like 3 zombies, like
They're going to give you a run for your money.
Yeah.
Actually, probably a run for your life.
they would keep running.
You would run for your life.
They would. They don't actually care a lot about money. They'd give you a run for your brains.
I'd be willing to bet you wouldn't care about money in that moment either. Oh yeah, so you have all these constituent parts to make. Oh great, I have enough to wait. I just want to make sure that
You don't have any shivs though either.
Does upgrading your melee weapon? I can't remember. Does it
It makes it
stronger again?
stronger. I think it's a 1-hit kill.
Yeah, you get like a one hit. It's like a shiv at the end of your
Yeah.
which is awesome.
But then you got to balance that because you're out of shivs, and
Mm-hmm.
shivs are actually really handy. It's a handful of handy.
Well, it's a
when you,
hand. You have a shiv in your hand, so I think you're right there. I think I might try to get kind of Rambo for the rest of this. Just I think it gets pretty cool. I don't know if we'll get to the climax of this part, but there's a really cool ending sequence.
Right. And if you haven't played Last of Us yet, you shouldn't be watching this.
No, that's true.
You should be playing this.
And speaking of games that you should play, I gave this version of the game. I would have given the PS3 version, like, that's a 10 in my book. Like that is a 10 out of 10 video game. Like, it's one of the best I've ever played. And all these extra, all the extra stuff they did with this and making it look so much better, and the increased frame rate and stuff. That's all great, but yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 obviously as well.
Easy. And you get the bonus of the DLC.
Yeah, and if you have a PS4, if you bought one and you didn't get around to this game, it's selling new for $50, which is $10 cheaper than it was. I think there's some trade-in deals you can do to get even less. But it's totally worth it, I think. And if you're thinking of replaying this game, like, this is also like totally the way to do it.
Do you have the bonus?
Oh right. Oh, you got me. Okay, that was
see?
actually a pretty good.
That's what I was saying. Is you didn't make a shiv, and so you were risking your life by not making that.
I think I thought I had my. I need revenge on this guy. I think I was under the impression that I had my melee weapon out. Let's see.
You should get it out.
Here, I'll go like this.
There's 2 of them now.
Oh, there is another.
Oh, Tim, you're bad at this.
All right. I thought the other guy was a stalker. All right, I'll get revenge on these guys, and then I think we'll probably wrap it up pretty quick. But this sequence of the game ends with like this awesome. They're like trying to kickstart the car, like drop the. I don't know, what do you call it when you're trying to get a car rolling, a rolling start,
That's
because
actually really cool.
because the starter's not working or something like that. And Ellie's driving, and you have to like run after the car and keep pushing it while she's trying to get it going. And it's one of my favorite sequences in a game.
Oh, slow down.
Really? Oh crap!
Oh,
Another one.
Tim.
All right.
Well, we could do this all day.
Yeah.
Tim.
All right. Well, I think that's a pretty good look at the game.
Yeah.
Don't try to talk. Oh, they gave me a shiv. Very nice. Don't try to talk and hunt clickers at the same time. But yeah, this game's awesome. Totally the way to play it. Yeah, thanks for watching Test Chamber. Thanks for coming and playing the game with me, Ben.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sweet.
Looks great.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.